I'm Will, he, him, and I play Moxie, she, her.
I'm Sarah, she, her, and I play Freya, she, her.
I'm Steve, he, him, and I play Aura, he, him.
I'm Imi, she, her, and I play Amaya, she, her.
I'm Mike, he, him, and I'm playing Eugene Bannatyne, he, him.
I'm Ruthie, she, they, and I play Sentinel/Jax, they, them.
I'm Charlie, he, him, and I'm your DM. You all arrived in Delnori only a couple of days ago.
So long ago.
Yeah, and you got involved in a couple of jobs immediately, given to you, one from Ripper of Ripper's Beer House and one from Morning of the Old Diver Inn. The first one with the chasm pigs, you were basically meant to go and kind of give them a kick up the backside and get them to start doing their jobs properly, but it turned out that they'd been dominated by some kind of monstrous rat thing that had like a small clockwork cap on its head, and it definitely been altered in some way by something. You killed the rat, you saved who you could of the chasm pigs, and you brought them back to Ripper's. And then you went straight on to the next job with Morning, which was to go to a tanner's place called Jeffram. And when you got there, you walked into the house, heard a creepy voice, heard another creepy voice, and it turned out that there were these strange goat-like creatures, or like canines with hooves, horrific things with scars on them, and they could mimic voices, and you quickly killed the two of those. Jeffram gave you some advice about the thieves, bit about what happened to the Thieves Guild in the city, and pointed that their HQ was a bit further down that same fissure of Scure Street. And you tracked the hoof prints up to this HQ building. This very fogged area you approached, and it turned out it was a bit of a nest in there. And you fought these things off in the fog, Sentinel getting really badly wounded, but you guys managed to bring it back. And you fought off these creatures to the very last one. You then you picked your way down into the basement where the nest was. The nest had been incinerated in the combat by a glass bottle of oil that Aura threw and ignited.
I fully do still have a Molotov that I completely forgot about that we could have just used.
Just carry around a Molotov, yeah.
Sure, it's fine.
And then in searching through the nest, you sort of swept across the muck and the grime and the ash, and you found a pretty solid-looking trapdoor that was just built into the ground of the basement. And that is where we'll start. I'll give you another brief description of it.
Oh, before you do, did one of the creatures run off, or did we kill all of them?
No, it ran off during the fight, but then it returned.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So we killed all of them.
So all the ones that you put it this way, all the ones that you saw were accounted for and killed.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Is it still foggy?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is absolutely foggy, and in the basement as well, there is like a fracture in one of the walls, and the ground is kind of spilling in. That's the one that Sentinel crawled out after one of the creatures. And in this basement, actually, one other point, Moxie cast Detect Magic, and you know that the trapdoor has enchantment magic within it somewhere. Get it out of the way. And on the so describing this trapdoor quickly, it definitely looks newer than the rest of the building, which has been burnt out and sort of left to rot. It's edged in this band of beaten brass, and on one side of that there's a little bit of a loop that comes out in this brass, and there's kind of a stamped lotus with a skull in the center of the flower, and next to that is a jagged shaped keyhole that looks a little bit odd, and then next to that is a small hole within that. I don't know if anyone has looked in there. I know that one of you did investigate it.
Poison in it, right?
That's correct. Yeah. So you're pretty sure that is a mechanical trap of some sort, or part of the enchantment trap. The enchantment as part of the trap is unknown, or the lock is artificed in some way. But I think that's where we were. So we'll.
Or perhaps you should try to open that trapdoor without checking for traps or anything like that.
I will take out my sword.
No, that was a jest.
You said you know a bit about this poison.
Did I?
Someone knows. Sentinel, you found a similar poison upstairs.
Oh, is it the same one?
Oh yeah, no. I had a look at it.
Yeah.
In the poison with...
Yeah, I had a look.
Oh, you did. Both you did.
Yeah.
So you don't know if it's the same poison in this trap, but you know that the poison you found upstairs the vial had been chewed on by one of these creatures.
And it was pretty potent stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Perim?
Black Perim is correct.
And it could be inhaled.
Yes, Eugene said you believe it can be either ingested, inhaled, or through injury. Basically, if it gets into your system, it's going to cause some damage.
I don't know how, if it can be inhaled. I don't know how long it would take to dissipate, or if we had a way to dissipate it, we could set it off from outside, maybe with Mage Hand. And then just
Yeah, that was one thought I had, is if we can just remove it using Mage Hand. Because you can, so long as you don't have to see where you put Mage Hand. You just has to be within range.
The other thing, if someone tried to disarm it and failed, I can get rid of poison.
Oh, well then let's just try and disarm.
Oh, do you want me to just like?
I mean, we
sample it?
might as well try, because we also
probably
we
won't
also
all
don't
go
know
in
if
there.
it's going to break something else like underneath there. So
What
maybe
can
we'll
everyone else heal?
we'll do tasteful first, then you can try breaking it if it doesn't work.
I mean, I can tell you what the poison does because you identified it.
But we don't know if it's the same
You know what the black
Yeah.
Perim does?
So what would that do?
Black Perim, it doesn't poison you, but it when it's initially ingested, it harms you a lot. Like that's what kills people in the initial consumption or ingestion. It's like very potent. Its poisoning effect isn't really cared about because it kills people really quickly.
Before that.
So
Lay on Hands is not going to save us.
Well, it will, because if you all back up enough, and then only one person goes down.
Maybe
I got some heals. Just try disarm.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the
Stand back.
scarf that we
Mage
got
Mage Hand it.
in the desert, and I'm just going to tie that around over my nose and mouth and just basically make a mask.
Also, Freya can use the gust spell to ventilate the area a bit better.
That's also true.
Wait, is that still going?
I can, but I do not wish to do that. Use an important spell slot.
Well, surely it's important to keep us alive, Freya, and most clerics would say that.
Wow!
I'm still moody. It's been 2 weeks, but I'm still moody.
Eugene, we're going to take you for drinks after, and we're going to have an intervention because this is not okay.
Are you on your man
don't know.
period or something?
You're on your period.
no.
If, you know what, Eugene, if it's necessary, I will use the gust of wind spell. I don't think it worked. We had a short rest, didn't we?
You did?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not.
So it doesn't recharge on that. Or if you're going to try and make a mask,
Well, yeah, it's just I know you know, I had a brilliant idea.
Oh,
will it affect that?
Well, if he
The
goes
mask making?
no,
Okay.
but it's just if he goes and tries to trigger the trap, I have an idea that we could do instead first.
Well, while you discuss
Kill
that, while you discuss that, or if you can roll a survival check, I guess. Try and make a mask out of a bit of your clothing.
11.
You reckon? Okay, put it this way: if it gets sprayed into your face, it will probably stop majority of it initially being ejected into your mouth. But you know that if you're in an area where it's suspended in the air, it's not going to last long. It will just seep through or get through likely.
It'll just get a bit of time.
I mean, look, we can just back everyone the fuck up, and me and Zeal can try and get into this thing, and then I've already gone down once today.
What I was thinking is I can make a sort of a safe little space for us, that only we could be inside, and then nothing can get in, and we'd be safe from any poisonous gases.
But would that work for the person trying to break it?
Oh no, but everyone else would be safe.
Yeah, that's fair enough. The other thought that I've just had is, what about Unseen Servant? And using Unseen Servant to because it can move up to 15 feet and interact with an object. It can perform simple tasks. Would simple tasks include disarming a trap?
I wouldn't. It could have basically. You know, it wouldn't be able to disarm it, but it could waggle something in there and maybe set it off.
I've got a crowbar.
All right, we're just gonna try and break into this fucking thing.
So how many HP do you get back on a short rest?
There's however many hit dice you want to roll.
Thanks.
How many are you going to use?
I have no idea.
So
I
you
was
got
just going to
5.
quietly just fuddle my way through the fuddle.
So
you get half back on a long
Are
rest.
you good at sleight of hands?
It's in half, yeah.
I got.
For what? Are you not going to...
Oh, I see. I'm going to...
no, I'll do it because I've got proficiency.
Well, I don't need to. I only need 7.
So I need guidance.
Right, so where is everyone? It's a
Way
small
back.
basement.
Go up the stairs.
So everyone except Sentinel is moving back
Zeal.
upstairs. Okay, Sentinel and Zeal, you're alone in this basement.
And what I could have done is make Lehman's tiny hut, and then downstairs. That way we can be downstairs and watch to see if anything bad happens.
You can see
and
it.
we'll be safe in the hut.
You could peer down the stairs. Like one or two of you could peer down the stairs.
Is there any light down there?
No, but you all have dark vision.
I'm just going to cast light just to try and make it a little bit easier.
It is foggy as well, so that would obscure some of your perception. But okay,
I'll just put light on one of the twigs of the nest or something,
Cool.
and just, so that Sentinel can just pick it up and move.
Nice. So what are you going to try and do?
Open the lock.
You're going to try and open it. So leave the trap and open the door. Okay.
Because my assumption is, and like everyone else correct me if I'm wrong, is that if we don't open the door, it's going to break anyway. So at least if we fail to unlock it, it's going to break. And if I don't disarm the trap well, it's still going to break.
Yeah.
So I think just I could try and disarm the trap, but it's 2 risks rather than 1. Unless anyone else thinks I should just do
I
it.
feel like if we try and unlock it and it triggers it, what happens if you put the wrong key in there by accident?
True.
It's a bit savage, isn't it?
Should I just try and disarm the trap first?
Come home from a
Eugene,
night out and kill yourself.
Yeah.
I found a spell on the trap. Can you identify it?
Yes, I can try.
I don't know. Do you want to? I don't know. Just more information if you want to try and do that.
Yeah. So can I have a look? So I'm not touching anything.
Yeah.
But can I investigate the? Is there a glyph or? Do you say
Are
something
you
was
going to
artified?
cast identify, or are you going to just investigate?
Oh. Do I have identify?
We've probably got time.
I don't.
No, then
I won't be able to cast that spell today, unfortunately. But I could at least try to investigate it.
Yeah, roll an Arcana check.
It won't be less information.
Yeah. Assistance. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So roll with advantage.
Thanks for that, because that's gonna be 18.
Nice.
It would have been like 9.
So this is a combination. It's a combination artifice lock. So within there'll be overlapping sigils. It's way beyond your skill to create as an artificer, but you do have an understanding of these locks, especially with your own kind of curiosities of locks and doors and that kind of stuff. You know that if the wrong key is used, then the trap will go off. So if you try and open the lock and fail, the trap goes off. If you tamper with it, the trap goes off. So it can be disarmed. It's difficult, but it can be disarmed using thieves' tools, and it can be picked successfully as well. It's just a difficult lock, and if you fuck up, the trap triggers.
So I'm fucked either way, because if I don't...
It's very intricate. I say be careful, but this will be pretty quick.
If he talks through it with the Sentinel...
You'd 100% have advantage.
Oh, I've also got Zeal as well to help.
The best that we can.
It's like Mission Impossible.
So am I going for the trap, or am I just going straight for the lock? Because either way, like, the fail point is still death.
Maybe just the lock.
Maybe just the lock. It saves time.
Just try and pick the lock.
I could bless you, but it would be my last spell.
That won't help with an ability check.
No.
Oh no, it's not.
It's
It's
a
attack and
saving throw.
save.
Oh, guidance anyway.
Do it. You've got
Right, what is
lots
it?
of-
It's sleight of hand plus proficiency, right?
Nice.
That is... I'm trying to do maths. 19 plus 2 plus 5.
Okay, so with Eugene's help, kind of a trembling behind you because you understand the gravity of this.
I do take a step back.
Eugene, get in the fucking hole.
So he gives you some pointers and he's like, "Wee," and he steps back. You put a set of wires in that you would normally do in it. Like it's a slightly different way of picking these locks to normal mechanical ones. So it's almost like you have to put these shims down the side, and then you get the 2 long picks, and you gently try and find some of the pins, and they start clicking into place properly. There's a faint kind of buzz up the tools that you feel. It's like a static that you only get from enchanted locks. You click through the pins, and then there's a snap, and the door goes and opens, resting open.
Oh, well done. That looked very intricate.
Well, I flashed for my eyes for a second time today.
Is it good? Can we come down now?
I'm gonna, can I just investigate, make sure that the trap's still not gonna trigger if I open this?
Yeah, you guys don't, together you would assume that the trap is effectively disarmed until the door's shut
Sick.
again.
And can we see the poison now?
It's
the
within
same
a
stuff.
block. It's like a brass block
Oh, so we can't see
within
it,
the
yeah.
door.
So we can't
yeah.
just
No, you could
It's probably the
dismantle
same
it.
stuff.
But
If that horrible, yucky stuff's here, I would assume it's the same.
What if we got some of your toffee and just stuffed it in the hole and blocked it?
But that just mends.
that would fix
I mean,
it.
I suppose.
But it would block.
We can just go now.
We can just go.
We can leave the door.
Mine's going down the stairs.
Yep.
I suppose I could literally.
So the trapdoor opens, and Amaya, you said you were going to go first. I'll give
Yeah.
you what you guys see. So it's a narrow, square brick shaft, descends about 30 feet. There's a solidly built wooden ladder, and as you descend first, you see that the walls have been marked either side by in messy swipes, and it looks like the creatures effectively climbed this and pushed through. So on the underside of the trapdoor, you see smears from it, and they would have climbed through here.
So they went up.
Yeah, and then
Jesus.
it shut behind them, or whatever. But you can see the streaks of blood, of a mix of blood and grime on these walls where they climbed up. So you descend. Anyone else going straight away? Are you going to go down on your own? Okay.
I'm going to descend quietly.
Yes,
Having seen that.
Cool. Right.
to try and
Okay.
be
So
quiet.
everyone roll stealth checks. Do you remember what you rolled,
No.
Amaya?
3.
Everyone else?
12.
19.
23.
It's 5.
Jesus, wow.
Okay.
I mean, it would have been a 6 otherwise.
So bad at stealth check.
Amaya, you make a bit of a mess of stepping up the bottom of the ladder. You clunk into the ground. That echoes down up the shaft and down the tunnels beyond. You hear so down here it's not got quite the same burnt wet charcoal smell of that the rotting house above, but there is the smell, that sweet acrid smell that reminds you of the creatures that you fought, and at the bottom of the ladder, Amaya, you see that there is a path in this tunnel that's about 5 feet wide, just tall enough for you to kind of get through. You can see tracks that have gone back and forth, but they're very old. There is even some dust filling them, and there are unlit lanterns every kind of 10 feet or so.
Can I light the lanterns?
Yeah, you can. So they're oil lanterns, so you would need oil when you open one up. It's like a glass lantern with a little dried.
Do I have any oil? Probably not.
I threw mine at a rat.
Could I take it out of my wallet?
You guys can light the lantern if you want.
Yeah.
So you find some oil.
I just give Amaya the stick that's got light on it.
Cool. So you drop down the ladder.
You've got some nice new small
Grab the
torches,
stick.
haven't you, Eugene?
Oh yeah, you got the scented torches.
That's a candle. I don't know how much. I mean, I can light one, but it might not give us too much light.
It will give us happiness.
You guys,
And it would smell rather nice.
yeah, because you can see with your dark vision 60 feet down the tunnel.
Yeah.
But it is in that grey scale of dark vision because it's pitch black down here. So you're now, all of you gather, you're kind of single file because it's a 5 foot wide pathway. And the tunnel just extends, lantern after lantern, all off, and it's dusty down here.
Which way is it going? Is it like going, would the tunnel be going like back out towards the sea or like further into the cliff?
Into the cliff.
Okay, cool.
They dug too far.
Why is it always digging?
Actually, what's the geology like down here?
It is. That's a really good question.
Lick it.
It is what you
I lick the wall.
Yeah,
You lick the
you
wall.
fucking
Is it halite?
It's very dusty.
Oh, so it's not halite.
No, you do get like a gritty tongue, and there's a bit of dust. It's quite sandstony, but you do notice that there are some chunks of something else in there, nodules of things in the wall.
It's a conglomerate.
Maybe.
myself.
What are you guys doing? Just standing in the tunnel at the moment.
I'd like
Currently
to look at the
watching
walls.
Eugene.
Apparently, yeah.
Inspect the geology.
Oh no, it's just if we see that
Tell
tour.
us about the conglomerate.
Well, no, I just thought if we see the tour guide, we can actually update his geological
that-
information
that
because
is-
it was very subpar.
That is true.
Roll a history check.
Natural 20. 27.
So as you take a little step forward, we're using the light from the stick that Maya's been given, and you can see that this tunnel is carved through what is a mixture of clay and limestone.
I thought it was sandstone.
Yeah, and sandstone.
It's a conglomerate.
Yeah, exactly. But what you do see is in these nodules, you actually, with your 20, you see that this nodule is not like a flint kind of, what would it call it? Not a nodule. It is what could be a potential, like a fossilized piece of something. It's very broken up. And it's very hard to
Are
see.
you telling Eugene there's fossils in here?
Oh no.
This is what you think is a fossil is it's an opalized piece of something that was probably once either wood or something that was organic in some way that's been very well preserved, and it's been turned into a greyish green fossil through what's the process?
Permineralisation.
Just to double check, what undergrad degree do you have?
Permineralisation. They're not laughing now. I didn't even know if I said it right.
I'm not laughing, but we still think you're a twat.
I mean, if you asked me, I would have been like, I don't know, and then you could have said exactly the same thing.
So you
would have corrected us.
Was I right?
What?
Permineralisation.
Depends on what mineral, but yeah.
That's what the masters get you.
Make it out!
Wait.
Opal.
This episode rocks.
This is where
Stop your dad jokes.
What it does tell you though is that for that process to have happened with a 20, it would have taken
27.
probably like 10,000 years at the least.
Should we add that to the
Very new
timeline?
rock.
Fossilization.
I just love looking
This
at
is
rocks.
how we're soft launching our new geology podcast.
It's like looking into the past. It's fascinating.
Is it worth anything?
I would doubt it, but well,
History
maybe
History is priceless.
yes. I'm glad you see it that way. I could really look at this all day, but I suppose we have stuff to do.
Takes the light stick.
Like to be fair, with your 20, so 27.
It was
Yeah.
a nat 20.
For 27.
So over thousands.
Learn to listen, Charlie.
So what happens is, and this is for people who are not as like into their geology as us apparently. So over the thousands of years that followed the burial of whatever this thing is,
I mean, that was me in all my lectures.
minerals,
Should we go for a break?
minerals
We've
from
been
the
able to have a long
sea,
rest in this time.
minerals from the sea and the ground would have seeped in and replaced whatever organic material that is. And in this case, it has formed an opaline crystal like structure that's effectively like a rough cast of what it was. And this looks like a chunk of wood. You can see there's a little bit of an attempt at carving in there, like the carving marks almost.
Well, Moxie, someone's tried to take some of this away, so either they want a sample for research or maybe there is some value, but it would take quite a while to get a piece worth selling, I suppose. I don't think we have the time.
No, maybe come
But it's
back.
interesting. I absolutely love this stuff.
come
I
back
say
for
it's
it.
like looking through a window of the past.
Amaya started to walk further down the
Oh,
tunnel.
Amaya.
Oh, yeah,
Amaya, before you, I know you're both like this. Sometimes in geological terms, you can get slaty cleavage, yes, people always found that rather amusing.
Sounds
Are
quite
you-
offensive, to be honest.
What?
Are you saying that I'd like that because I'm gay or because I have a dirty mind?
Oh, I just thought it would be your type of humour.
Okay, fair enough.
Slaty cleavage.
As you guys move down this tunnel, you eventually.
Mold earth.
I was going to.
No, sorry, I thought we were ready to go.
We're staying here.
Amaya's
I
already
was going
gone,
to mould
guys.
earth like on the opposite wall, and I can just create shapes and colours. I'm just going to create like some old cave paintings, just on the opposite wall.
Do I see him do
Of
this?
what? Yeah, I guess.
Just like a couple of like stick people with spears, like chasing a creature.
Yeah, so you like a carving in the wall.
Yeah.
You create this little stick figure diorama.
Wow, Eugene, this is amazing.
About 3 seconds.
That's good.
So as
So
you
am I
move,
here. There's so much space up here where all of our friends are behind us.
you two at the front, you walk for about 5 minutes, at a slow pace, kind of being careful where you walk. The tunnel ceiling, it soars up to about 10 feet, and the walls widen as you stand before a grand double doorway.
Is it a jar?
It is. So you. Oh my god, guys! You're in a tunnel for half an hour.
Stood in the door.
Seafro, I don't
No,
find that
wait.
humour very funny either. I'm glad somebody agrees with me.
I'm waiting.
Amaya opens the double door door.
It doesn't move.
Is there a lock on it?
So the tunnel opens up. The ceiling soars about 10 feet wide, and to make space for a doorway that has been chiseled out. So this doorway is within the cliff. It is a huge double door that goes up to the 10 feet to the ceiling of this tunnel. It is grand. It's made from a greyish green opal, and it appears to have an opening of about 3 feet wide where the doors have been opened. The outside looks pretty mangled where someone's chipped away at it, and then within at the opening it looks like a seal is broken or something, and they've carved away and opened into this space.
Can we fit through?
So you can get in. Do we want to wait for everyone else, or do we
I'm
want
already in.
to? Okay, I'm going.
Okay, as everyone else.
If you're not waiting, I'm following you.
Yeah, we're following it.
I was going to say, do we want a map?
Eventually I get there.
Yeah, as everyone else catches up, you guys move in. Amaya, you've got the stick with light on it, and as you step in,
Torch.
well, it's a little twig from the nest with the light on it, and you can see that this space is about 30 feet square and 20 feet up into rafters, and this same patterned stone with that the door is made of. That exists everywhere, and there are a few pillars that dot the main space every 10 feet or so, and the beams themselves and the pillars are all this grey opalized rock. The walls are the same. They have the appearance of carved wood, but some of the detail has been lost, like an imperfect impression of a fossil. And they prop up a roof of the similar material, and as everyone else enters behind you, you notice, the two of you see that on some of the pillars, the carving you can just about make out of the picture of a woman, many times repeated in the pillars on the walls that were once wooden boardings maybe, and she kind of, because in some instances she's kind of contorting in like a beautiful dance in some instances, but others are too eroded and changed to make them out. And other areas of patterns of like ripples and waves. And within the space, as everyone else you enter, you see there's modern furniture that's been placed. within the space. There's a couple of writing desks, there's a dining table, there's some well-made looking like utilitarian chairs, there's all of it's been covered in a thin layer of dust. The only thing that disturbs the space are a couple of hoof prints that look like they come out from one of the side rooms and then back up to the tunnel that you've entered through.
That's a bit fancy for a thieves' hideout.
Well, you say that, but have you met us?
I was just going to say,
we
you
like
guys
the
are pretty
finer
fancy.
things. Yeah.
But it seems old. Doesn't it seem old?
Well, there's dust. It hasn't been used in
No,
some
but
time.
like in general. Does the room seem really like
Roll a history check.
ancient?
I have so
If you
many
are
questions for this
proficient in
furniture. And there's
I'm
so
not,
many pieces.
so- I just look at
don't
it.
have-
Roll a
I don't
religion
prefer
check
love.
though.
No.
If you're proficient in history and you're that way
have to
inclined, you can
see.
roll a history check.
I'm proficient in history.
What?
I love that when you just went.
Roll a history check.
Ow!
It's got a little P in the hut.
You can roll.
22.
Okay.
Key for history.
So even though
Don't worry.
the history is kind of the whole fossilization that they were talking about, that's kind of not really your jam. You do understand immediately that this looks like some kind of temple. The repeated patterns and the carvings of the woman, they're like nothing that you've seen in terms of the pantheon of inheritance, but you do think that this is like the hallway of what was once a potential chapel or temple, and there is likely, like, this is really old. This is probably 10,000 years old with what they were talking about with the fossilization. Jeez. And that this place would have been made out of wood, very, very like basic. The carvings would have taken probably years to complete. On the inside of the doorway, when you look back around, as you're kind of mulling over how old this place truly is, you can see a word written very kind of eroded, but the carving was such that you can just about make out there are letters there, and they are in Signura, which is the language that you saw very often in the desert. And what's likely to have happened is this place would have been submerged in some kind of event. All of the organic material fossilized into an opal, and there's some kind of strange preservation about the place that's kept it whole, and then it would have been washed through, and the water or mineral, whatever was in it, was washed out, leaving this cast of the temple that once was.
Are we going to have to...
Furniture stayed.
That's all new.
The furniture is new.
But I can do speak.
Yeah.
I can do.
I have like a language thing, but it's not prepared.
I can do it. It's fine.
Yeah, the furniture
We're
looks
gonna
like
have
it's
to fight
wooden and new,
another
but someone's brought it in here.
Okay.
Are we going to have to fight another god?
Can I sit
Hopefully not
down?
today.
Gonna dust off some furniture and sit down. I don't know if it's gonna work, and I also don't know if this is a massive long shot. Can I just get out my sword and just ask to see Murmur?
You absolutely can. So yeah, you sit down, you get out your sword, you ask to see Mama, we'll freeze frame there, and we'll take 10 minutes, so everyone else either let me know what you're doing or have a think about what you're going to do in the 10 minutes.
Oh, maybe I don't have a language. Oh no, I do have tongues, but it's not prepared.
Are there any, like,
comprehend languages.
Actually,
Comprehend that. Oh, as a ritual.
I can only do it as a ritual.
are there any, like, brackets on the wall for, like, torches or anything?
It's all very. I mean, there are like new things. So there's a brazier.
Yeah.
You know, there's that have been brought down here. So yeah, sure, there's a brazier.
I've got tinderbox and like 13 torches. If I need them.
Yeah.
We
So,
all, to be honest.
And I'll just
teeth.
I'll just light up
yeah.
braziers with what I can find and
That's fine.
just get some light in here.
Yeah, so Aura takes the 10 minutes lighting old braziers, placing torches in places.
Is it quite damp in here? But like not necessarily wet, but like has there been like moist? Because you were saying that at some stage, it was obviously quite a long time ago. But is there still a little bit of moisture in the corners or mold or?
In here, it's dry. It's surprisingly dry. So this is kind of some sealed off or
So
whatever.
there's no. So what I'm trying to get, there's no like there won't be anything for me to like harvest whilst people take 10 minutes to do things.
in this room, it's kind of like a rock room.
That's something.
But
Yeah,
you
that's
could
fine.
have an investigation into like the drawers to see if there's anything here that they would have brought, and then you in the new furniture, for example. So this is the new furniture's been brought in by someone. So there's chairs, desks, whatever.
I suppose in that 10 minutes, and I'll just have a look through,
Sure.
see if I can find anything interesting.
Okay, roll an investigation check. And who else? Freya and Moxie.
I want to just look at the tracks, see how recent they are.
Okay, yeah. Roll an nature check.
I'm so good at. Oh, got 19.
Yeah, they're pretty old. So they actually go off into one of the rooms on the side, and you follow them into a room that is much more like a chapel. And we'll hold there because I'll kind of describe the whole room in a moment.
While Sentinel's doing their ritual, I'm going to cast ritual cast detect magic myself.
Sure. Okay, so you guys are casting rituals. And Amaya, so you are popping out murmur, was that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you do it?
I just look at my sword and say, Murmur, are you there?
Yeah, and after a while you're like, oh god, it's not working. And then there's a little rustle of leaves across the stone floor. And you like look round at them as they catch your ear, and you see forming from the bits of the fibres of tiny leaves and a little wood chip for a beak on your sword. It kind of forms from these bits. Yes?
Oh, Maya, can you say, if you see a murmur, can you say hello from me?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, Murmur. My friend Eugene says hi.
Hello.
He says hello.
Oh, that's so cool.
Hey, Murmur, I've just got 2 quick questions. One, how is best to summon you?
He kind of hops about on the sword blade like a wagtail. He's like, this seems to suffice.
Oh, okay, so this is fine. Like me just
Yes.
asking to summon. Okay, I'm just checking. And my second question is, can you like see like around this room? Like, do you see everything in here?
No, not past you, and then flutters onto your shoulder, and then like onto the wall. When I touch things, I can see more, but I am bound within the sword and you presence.
Okay.
Hops back to you.
I'm gonna, so Murmur, sit on my shoulder. I'm gonna pick up my
Good.
sword and I want to walk over to one of the carvings of the woman that's on the thing.
Okay.
Murmur, do you know, like, do you recognise anything to do with this woman?
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that a slip of the tongue, or did you mean to say
No, she does it
woman?
sometimes. She just calls him.
No, that's fine. It's just the way that you broke after it.
It's a secret wabe moment.
It's because I don't say it.
That was an Emmy moment instead of an Amaya moment.
I mean, woman is very legitimate.
This woman, do you recognise her? My mind's not laughing.
So you sheathe the sword and you walk with him up to one of the pillars, and he flits onto it and like holds on, like, you know, like when a little bird is on a vertical surface and like looks at it, and then it flitters back to your shoulder, and you're silent for a time. Yes.
You do recognise it.
Yes.
What is it? Or who is she?
And he doesn't say anything for a moment, and it cocks its head at you. You use me, daughter of silt and bone, and our binding strengthens, and I feel less broken, and I know this, and flits back onto the woman. This is Evrain. Flits onto you.
Guys, this is Evrain. This woman.
Wait, what? How do you know that?
Just bear with me. I'm on the phone.
And then he hops from the woman back onto your shoulder. I am a shiver,
You're a shiver. What does a shiver mean?
a delicate shard born of the dreams of the mother heirloom. So he hops back onto you. The heirlooms are living relics made from the splinters of Evrain.
Oh.
So you're a You're a splinter of Evrain.
Flitters back onto your arm. No, I am a shiver.
So who are the what did you say?
Heirlooms.
Who are the heirlooms?
Heirlooms are the relics made from Evrain. The mother heirloom, I am a shard born from her dreams.
I'm going to relay this back to everyone because I don't understand.
I'll say it without his voice. So what he says to you is that the heirlooms are living relics that are made from what he has referred to as the splinters of Evrain. And he says that he is a delicate shard that was born from the dreams of one of these splinters.
It's a splinter of a splinter.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
So is the sword the splinter so that he's a splinter of the sword
And the
thought
sword
he was
is
a
an
shiver.
heirloom.
and the sword is an heirloom?
So he is a shiver, a delicate
he's
thing
so
born
he's a
from the
shiver.
dreams
Yeah.
of an heirloom. And the heirlooms are made from the mother of magic, Evrain.
Did you say mother of magic?
Yes.
This woman is the mother of magic, apparently, people. How do you know? Wait, no. Okay, that's a dumb question. Murmur, do you know how long ago Evrain was?
He's flitting around. He looks a little erratic, and as you watch him, bits are
calm
falling
down.
off, like a bit of wing.
No.
He flitters back onto the sword, onto your shoulder.
Murmur, come back, please don't leave me.
A long time. I remember others made a great battle. A vein, a Tetresium vein, the weather vein, yes. Beyond which rests the maker of swords and the aurora. The vein is in your city, yes, that's right, yes. The vein.
My city.
Yes, your father, Anders, he knew, he made a deal. Bits are falling off of him, breaking apart. He broke me when we escaped, and then we ran. He gave me to you, and then you ran, and then he breaks again.
No, you cannot take Murmur away from me, you son of a bitch.
And he fades.
I'm gonna ask to see Murmur again. Does he come back?
Doesn't. But you felt that he was much more coherent than he has been before. But it was he gave you what he could, and then he just broke to
Is he
pieces.
ever gonna come back again?
You don't know. You never called him in such quick succession after he's broken before. I don't think.
I don't think you've ever called him.
No, I haven't. No, it was one time on the boat. I think I did once.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's when I could see.
Yeah,
him.
you were high.
Yeah.
a great
See,
day.
invisibility just makes Eugene high.
I relay all of that information to everyone.
Does Evrain mean anything to me?
We will come to that in a moment. Sentinel, you finish your ritual, and as you comprehend languages, lights your vision. Sorry?
I'm not pouring over very old notes like some conspiracy theory. Literally ripped from my old notebook, like, please hold something.
Your eyes on the sign above the door, and you immediately comprehend them, and you say, Evrain.
That's all I say.
And that's what it says.
So good use of 10 minutes.
But you've still got it in case you find other things, I guess.
So,
Moxie, you were casting
Detect magic.
Detect Magic. So that finishes.
Oh, if it's the mother of magic.
It's probably a lot.
the whole place is a bit
room is
light
lit
up.
up.
It burns!
I mean, in this ancient fossilized thing that once was, you don't see too much. There's a faint glow on the walls that's almost, I guess, a fossil of magic in a way. It's the clinging remains of what preserved it, maybe, but it's very hard to see. It's almost like a kind of veil over the walls and the pillars. You see.
Yeah, I mean, I could walk around the whole room. I wouldn't just
Yeah.
stay in the middle here.
You find in because Eugene, you're actually investigating the place, right?
I'm looking through drawers and
What did you roll?
18.
So you're drawn to where Eugene is, and he's at one of the desks, and you notice within there is a glowing, like a glowing kind of vial shaped something, and that is. I'm pretty sure that healing is divine, right? Yeah, so it glows with divine. As Eugene, you're sifting through stuff, and Moxie, you pull out from kind of within the mass a healing potion that looks pretty new. There's a cork in the top.
So used by date on it or something.
No, it looks alright though.
Is it put in since we used the last one?
Based on the time it took us to use the last healing potion, I don't think we have to worry about use by date.
As a standard one.
right.
That's a point in the
Genetic.
alchemy thing. Reactive stuff has a shelf life, but everything else doesn't.
Yes, so if once it's a complete potion, it hasn't. It's stable.
Yeah.
So it's fine. Then Eugene, you find within that you roll an 18.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you find a leather jacket that has a Touch Lotus symbol on the side of it. There is a pair of tar-bottomed plimsolls that are clearly made for thieves, and there is a rough sketch of the tunnel that you came in, and it reveals the kind of layout of this room, which is a big wide open room, and there's off to one side there's a room, and then off to the other side there's another room, which is the one that Freya went into, and in there looks to be some kind of scribbling and kind of pointing off into that direction, out away from that room into the cliff further. There is a set of thieves' tools you find, and you also find a vial of black perum, which is whole and corked and sealed with wax, and is enough to coat a weapon 3 times, so 3 uses. Yes.
How much for putting a blow dart though?
That would
How
be
many
3.
times can
Yeah, 3.
But blow darts are so tiny.
Yeah.
Can I look through the pockets of the jacket?
Yeah, it's an old thing. You put your hand through one of the pockets and it's got a hole in it, and you get the feeling that this was just something that was left behind because they didn't want it anymore. But you dust it off and it looks pretty good. It's like a leather jerkin with the lotus symbol on it, the skull in the middle.
Looks real cool. Yeah.
Does anyone want any of these? I mean, I wouldn't mind keeping the poison for purely research.
So
Do you want to keep the thieves' tools as well? Because you don't have a set of thieves' tools.
Yes, I can
They're
do.
always handy.
Yeah.
In case you break some or something.
If we break some, because you're proficient in.
Not anymore.
Because I know you used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just keep the second set, or someone else can, just in case.
you can sell them as well. I think they're like 50 gold.
Because I have.
I can always change them into things as well.
You can change them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so they're yours. They're huges.
Okay.
Would the shoes have any impact on someone's stealth?
They don't,
You roll lower.
they don't have them. They haven't got a mechanical. They're not like a magic item. So they don't add any plus ones or
okay.
anything. But they're tar bottomed, like very sticky. They're the kind of thing that a thief would wear when they're on a job.
Does anyone want the jacket?
What size are they?
Yeah, that's a very good point.
They all fit most of you. Let's just say that.
What about my size 10 feet?
I am very small.
Eugene doesn't have the same size feet as Aura.
Just wear one on both feet.
I've just got clown shoes on now.
And so Freya, you went into the side room.
Yeah, of course you can.
So
You can have this potion as well. You get through them.
Fuck you.
So this place is that you're standing in, Freya. It's like about 40 feet deep, and looks like it was once a chapel. The vaulted ceiling is made from the carved beams, the greyish green opal. The walls are similar wooden panelling. The room itself is actually now filled with beds. So, but the beds have been stripped down to straw and feathers. There are 6 of them, and they're covered in like a layer of dust, as everything else is. In the middle of the room, that's been fused with the floorboards that are now made of stone, is a a kind of large wheel-shaped thing with multiple layers. It looks like it was once a chandelier, and it obviously fell and then like was fused to the floor throughout the process of fossilizing this place. And there are mounds over one side which look like they might be stacked pews in a heap that has also fused to the wall, and now made of the similar stone. And then that's it. So this room has been effectively changed from once a chapel and into a bedroom for these people.
Did I know Evereen's name?
Yes, that's right. So, what do you? I don't know if it's fair to test you because it's been ages. But what do you remember of the? So obviously the set of the pantheon is that you're shining servants like Junes and everyone, and then the unworshipped gods. You did get a book. There was a book actually from the prophet, I think, that spoke about a lot because he was kind of trying to communicate with everyone, wasn't he?
Prophet's Diary, yeah, we did have that. And we translated it as well because that was in the Signature era. So that has been translated as well.
Yes, that the last thing that you would know, that Evereen is an archaic name, and it was associated with the ones above. So there are 10 of them. You know that much, I think, and that's one of the names of an archaic name of the ones above. And in the book from the Prophet of Dust, his journal, the last entry that you saw there, he in his writing referred to it as, in his journal it says, the Mother of Magic, deceased.
Oh. So the gods that were in this temple are long gone, in theory.
And the ones above were effectively the originators of the entanglement, and the pantheon of inheritance is named after that. It's called inheritance because the shining servants, the lesser siblings, inherited the entanglement from the ones above.
So she was part of
the ones above.
Okay.
Can I very quickly ask Zeal? Zeal, you're old as fuck.
I guess so.
I mean, I'm assuming you're old as fuck. Do you know of Evereen?
No, I'm afraid you know me and
Hey, sometimes
the
you
big
have
boss.
good memory times. Sometimes you have bad memory times. You're also old as fuck. It's always good to check.
Yes, you said that, yeah.
I thought he was a scholar.
Hey, he's a scholar and he's old as fuck. You'd think he'd have notes somewhere, but no, apparently not.
Well, I mean, the name doesn't ring a bell immediately, but it's not that I could, I mean...
That's all right, bud. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm clutching at straws.
That's fine.
Two quick questions.
For me or Zeal?
You.
All right.
Not Zeal, because I can't hear
No
all-
one can talk or hear Zeal. Just me slagging him off in his brain.
You can see him, though. You can see him, though, but yeah.
So, is there any symbolism here that I would recognise from where I'm from?
It doesn't, not particularly. It's so old, and it's one of those. It could have once been a kind of temple that predated your own empire as well. Kind of thing.
No,
so
I understand
old
that. But what I'm trying to ascertain is there any symbolism here that is similar to any symbolism that is at home?
No, but what I will say is, he mentioned roll a history check again.
Come on.
And actually with advantage because this is way in your remit. So
Yes, bitch.
That is, thank God, that's an advantage. That is an 18.
okay, so one thing that he said was he mentioned something called the vein. I think he said the Titresium vein. And you know that there is an older relic that is within the Opari in the capital city, and it's associated with the ritual around creating the swords. And he said heirlooms, I remember others, and then he mentioned the Titresium vein. That rings a bell, and you understand your father would have spoken about that as well. The vein was part of his work going to and from the capital. It was very It was mainly at home, called the Aurora Forge, which is where they would make the weapons. But you recognise that name, Tatressium Vein.
Okay. Do I have a suspicion my sword might be stolen?
I don't know.
I do have a suspicion my sword might be
I was
stolen.
going to say, based off the last time we talked about your sword, I think we all have a suspicion that it might.
Who stole the sword?
I think my
Papa.
my papa, my Seiki father Anders has nicked it. Okay.
But you don't remember. You know that to kind of learn more about the vein, you'd have to research it. And I would say this actually because I kind of updated these the other day. The research, like if and when you guys go to a library at some point, is a little different to what it was in Dustmere.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll discuss it then, probably. But
Cool.
it's not quite as easy as 2 hours for loads of lore, but you can do a quick.
Rude.
You can do a quick one for 2 hours, but because in like Xanathar's, for example, it says you need a week and a certain amount of gold, but I think that's a little bit harsh. So if you want really in-depth, really detailed things, like specific things, that's when you do that. If you wanted a quick general, then you can still do that for in 2 hours or a day or something. But yeah, anyway.
Can I look for where the tracks went in the chapel?
Yes. So you follow them for a while. Did you tell me what you rolled? It's very easy.
For a
It's
nature
fine.
check. I think for nature you got an 18, I think.
Yeah,
19,
it was a
I think.
19.
It wouldn't,
Oh, 19.
Yeah, because it was one
that's
higher than
fine.
what I rolled.
Yes. You follow them into the chapel and you see that some of the beds have been chewed, like they've been looking for stuff. And then you follow them back out and they move that kind of perimeter of the chapel. You walk the hallway part where everyone else is and there's desks and stuff in there. You go into the other room and in there it's an office. This one, what looks like it was an office, but it's kind of been destroyed by a collapsed wall on the opposite side, and there are bits of stone that have kind of settled and rammed the desk up against one of the left-hand side of the wall, and like over half the space has been filled with rubble, and it's a mixture of the kind of opal, the fossil stone, bits of the cliff. It's a lot of rock. It'll take a while to clear.
Is the desk fossilized as well?
No, the desk is new. The desk is wooden and broken.
Any drawers?
Yeah, you could. I mean, it's kind of smashed up, so it won't make you roll. You find bits of paper in there that have got the Touch Lotus like stamp, like an emboss on it, but it's been cleared out. There's like a smashed inkwell. Everything that you guys have looked in the last 10 minutes, you get in the feeling that this place has been left. They've taken anything they wanted, and they've left a few things that they, forgotten or didn't want anymore.
Is there ever any evidence of like why they would have abandoned this place?
Maybe the creatures.
Nothing but the rubble. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say that. The tracks looks like they originated from the rubble.
Right.
But it's all kind of messed up, and there's a bit of blood that you can see under some of the dust where you sweep away near the bottom of the rubble.
Can I just really quickly ask, what papers that have got the Touch Lotus, and have they also got the skull on it?
Yeah, so the Lotus, you've seen a couple different iterations, but it's like when it's in fancy embossed places, it's got the Lotus symbol, and then in the middle, instead of the empty circle, there's like a little skull.
So on these ones there is a skull?
Yeah.
Okay.
The little map that I found, when you said there was that chapel-y bit and there was like a little side bit, is that little office?
Yes, and the arrow would go through where I guess the rubble is. Yeah.
Cool.
So there is a tunnel here, but it's like not reachable.
Maybe
Or is it?
maybe they caved it in to stop the creatures from.
Yeah,
Getting any
the tracks go under the rubble.
They come from it.
Right. So
Oh, so
the
it's-
So
rubble
they might have
is
like destroyed
after
the
creatures.
walls.
Yeah, it must. Yeah.
Would you consider the rubble loose earth?
It's not loose earth. They're like big chunks of rock. So let me put it this way.
Are they bigger than me?
There are a couple. So basically, you would need to break chunks up with whatever tools you got, like your pitons, and I think someone had a pickaxe maybe or something like that. It would take 3 of you 8 hours to clear it. So
Yeah, we need
4
to put
hours if
supports
we
up
all.
as well.
What if we shattered it?
Yeah, what if we did shatter it? That's a very good point.
Probably shout the rest of the place.
I suppose if there's a cave in and then we try to remove this, it might just cave in again with stuff that's above.
So we can't get out up that way.
I mean, if
Could we create a small hole and send a zeal through it?
Is there enough space in that for a small zeal?
Not at the moment. So if you spend some time looking, you reckon you'd have to clear about half of it to make enough space to get him through, and maybe he could wiggle through possibly, but you'd have to try.
Possibly.
Can I see anything through? Can we see anything through there? Like if I put light on something and just like.
No, it's like a 5 foot thick rubble. Like
While we're discussing this, I'm just going to start trying to make a small hole.
Yeah.
Just while we're chatting.
If we can make a hole that I can see through, I can get someone on this other side so we could work from both sides.
But we don't. How would we get someone to the other side?
You can transport.
I can teleport people.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
I can do the same, but myself. But yeah.
Do we want to go through though?
Or do we want to leave it, have a nap, and then have another go? Or we could
Take us 8 hours. We could just do it for the rest of the day.
Yeah, it is only what 1, but probably 2 o'clock
And
now.
Charlie said 3
Mid-afternoon.
people. What if there were 6 people?
I'd say 4 hours.
it would take 4 hours.
I mean, I think
Might as
it's
well
worth it
start.
because we need to see where they've come from.
Do we
Yeah, it's true.
want a proper map? Like I could make a map that goes.
We don't know
beyond
if
this.
it goes up though.
Yeah.
That's the only question. If it goes
When we
up,
can
it's
see.
useless.
Yeah,
Might just
when
get
we-
the same map we
when
have.
we can-
Yeah, do we want to start? I'm happy to do a shatter because I can just take a short rest during like all of this to get that spell slot back. I can do it twice
Yeah.
and then just take a short rest. I'll relax while you guys are all working.
I'll do a little bit of hard
Okay.
work and then I'll chill out.
Yeah. I'll do the hard shit. Well, would that because shatter does destroy.
What I'll say is, so you there are big old boulders in this.
I've got a hammer and a crowbar.
Yeah, but so if you were to use shatter twice between you, that would do the work of the pickaxing. So if you were to you would break up the big bits, and then it would just mean that the job would be transporting it.
Sweet.
There was a very slim chance that you could cause a collapse because you're really far underground in a fossil temple.
But if we got everyone out of the room and the only person to die was me.
Could Aura use mold earth to like hold the wall together?
Yeah, like if it starts.
Like
I mean,
to stabilize it while we do the shatter?
I don't know. What does the wording say? Isn't it like carving things? Maybe.
I really should.
You can target an area of loose earth and instantly excavate it, move it along the ground, and deposit it
So
5
if we
feet away.
shattered it into smaller pieces and then molded earth, we could do it super quickly.
Maybe at the
could
moment
reduce
it's
the
4
time.
hours. So with 2 shatters, it'll take 3 hours.
And then a mold earth on top of the smaller
It isn't loose soil though.
What if
Loose
it's
earth.
basically gravel?
So
Yeah, my shot is going to do
What's
like
the-
it's 4d8
what's
twice.
the radius on it?
Let's do it.
Hold on.
Because this is before you say, so people don't accuse me
10.
of okay. The room is
I could
It's a
turn it into
10-foot
normal terrain.
radius sphere centered on a point. It does not say I need to be able to see that point,
It's
so
about-
I could do it like in the middle of.
the room's about 15 feet wide. So if you were to center it, it's not going to be hitting the walls. So the damage would be within that, in the mass of rock.
I think it's
I like
worth it.
I like it.
Right.
The only thing I would advise is we don't know how many of these creatures there might be on the other side. If they all come, I mean,
Yeah, but
2 or 3 did a lot of damage, and if there's 6 or 7 of them, for
appreciate
example,
that. What we can then also do, so I have another short rest. So I short rest while you guys are moving some shit because doing spells takes it out of me. I can shatter again and cause another cave in. That's true.
It's like
I can start we're fine.
I could always set a trap.
I mean, you can
Why
also do
not?
that.
Just
do so
it.
many
Just
things.
do it for funsies.
I'm just going to set a hunting trap.
Oh, hang on.
Like between us and where
So
we're going to
if-
shatter. So
so
if something
you-
comes flying out of there,
So are you
it'll run
exiting the office while you do shatter? So there's like a doorway, and then it goes about 20 feet in. Well, it would be
60 feet.
the range of 60 feet.
Yeah.
So is everyone? No one's in the room.
We are standing well back.
oh yeah,
So yeah, you could, or you place a trap at the doorway, like your
Yeah.
side of the doorway in,
Yeah.
and then you cast shatter.
Sorry, just to interrupt. I mean, I could also make my hut and then only we. If something erupts out of it, it
He
can't
really
get
wants to
in.
make this hard.
Oh, it
He
takes
really
10 minutes.
So we'd be safe. We'd be safe in the hut.
Is it using a
Would we be
slot?
safe
I
in
know,
the
we're sure cast it.
Would we be safe in the
Okay,
hut?
ritual
if
hand.
the
I'm doing
ceiling-
it.
Ritual hut.
Yeah,
It will be for like 10 minutes and then it will
May as well do it.
We've got 10 minutes to
Would
make
we-
a ritual
we'd be
hut.
we'd be safe in the hut from collapsing ceiling, wouldn't we?
I
You'd just be trapped forever.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
exactly.
Then we could just shift our way out.
Yeah. This is foolproof.
I've got like 3 shadows as well. If we
If we're really
we
stuck.
can shower our way all the way to the surface.
I just need to keep taking naps every hour.
How long does the hut last for?
8 hours.
So what does your heart look like?
So I get my book out and then place on the floor and then place a bead in the middle of the book. And then this bead sort of just slowly starts to rise, and then as it gets to like about 10 feet in the air, then this sort of dome. Let's go with like purple dome. Yeah, sort of like lavender dome. So just like
Cool.
sort of. It sort of shimmers into existence around us, and then so we have a hut.
So it's like a pop-up tent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
So,
sort
I can't cast spells within it, can I? have to
No,
go out.
you have to be outside to cast spells. Yes.
so within within like main entrance hall of this temple that you're in, and you can put your head out and see into the office, and you can see the rubble in there. So so everyone's in the hut, and then you're gonna poke out and
I'll
cast.
go get out.
So you get out, you cast. It doesn't get a save because it's just rubble.
How much damage? Do you want me to roll damage on it?
You can if you like, but it's gonna do.
For the stats.
You can, yeah. So 2 of them will take an hour off the work.
I mean, that's... Oh, no, it's not as bad as I thought it was. That's 16.
Cool. Yeah. So you send. Oh, I see. There's more.
There's more. Fuck you. 15 plus another 8. I can't do that math.
23.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that one Chester?
That's for both.
Both. Cool. So you send one in. The like warbling amber bead shoots into the middle of the rubble and disappears, and then this kind of absorbs most of the impact. But you see some of the bigger rocks inside shift and it sinks a bit, and then the second one just explodes the remainder of the big bits. There's small bits everywhere. Just the room is just covered in like bits of rock. But they're all, the biggest pieces now are probably like the size of someone's head kind of thing, rather than a big boulder.
All right. Night, gang. See you in an hour.
Get in the dome.
Okay.
You have
so
an app.
what?
Let's get to it.
God, I love being a warlock.
So 3 hours.
I've got a crowbar, a hammer, just that we can use like if we need, and I've got pitons as well. So if we need to break stuff up or
Yeah, that's
crowbar
fine.
to leverage stuff.
I would say that makes up. We have sentinels resting. That is the same as 3 hours for the rest of you.
Well, I only need to rest for an hour,
Yeah,
and then
that's
I can
cool.
do it. Also, how long would it take for Zeal to be able to wiggle through? Because you said it wouldn't take as long.
I would say halfway. So you
Okay.
do hour and a half. You guys have cleared most of it. Where else are you going to put all the rubble? You're just going to keep it in the office?
Just
you put
like
it
at
in
the
the
Yeah,
sides.
move it to the
Cool.
side.
So you put it around the edge of the office room, and after an hour and a
Make a new
half,
fake floor.
so we're probably approaching late afternoon, you finally see that there is a space that a squirrel could potentially squeeze and wiggle through. You gonna send him?
Go on, good buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, want to take Hansel too? They can be
Oh, I'll
friends.
boot pencil on their tail.
Cool.
Like my
How far can they go away from you, where you can see them?
100 or 300?
I mean, I don't know. Does Zeal abide by normal familiar rules?
Yeah.
Given okay, fine. I can see him. I think it's long. Oh yeah, familiar must be within 100 feet of you.
Yeah.
Okay. So you send them down, or send them through. It is a small. It's 5 foot tall, but it's only 3 feet wide. This tunnel. It's not a natural cave by any means. It's absolutely been carved with tools through the what was a beautiful opal fossil wall, and then out, and it goes down at about a 30-degree angle, and it goes for about 100 feet before it flattens out.
What does he see at the end of that flattening out?
So they'd go, is it 100 feet is the limit for you guys to see? So you get to the very edge.
Press yourself up against the wall.
And you can see the vision kind of both of you. It's blurring slightly as you're really pushing the limits. And what you see is it becomes much narrower. As it flattens, it becomes narrow. It's a circular tunnel about 2 feet wide, and then 20 feet away, it drops again.
Oh, fucking hell.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you say 100 yards away,
Feet. Yeah.
100 feet away, if Moxie or Sentinel put their arm through the hole, does that give them an extra arm's length
Maybe,
to see?
but you can only see, maybe, but you can see 20 feet ahead. So it goes from the 5 feet tall, 3 feet wide thing to a circular 2 feet in diameter hole tunnel. That goes for 20 feet and it drops off.
Do we want to...
Does it look
Do
like
we
a
want to
burrow?
get Clayton down here?
We need Clayton. Clayton's who we need to deal with this.
He's having a lovely time.
He's having the best day of his life.
He's shopping, he's had
He's currently
He's
at this
gone to hang
time.
out with Flora and they're getting pissed on a boat
This
with
is
the
perfect
beer.
early bird time right now. for
I
him.
feel like Clayton's having like a perfect bank holiday weekend.
He definitely
Like
is. He woke up getting spooned and now he's having a great day.
He's got his hair cut. Okay, so that's where they get.
Was it flat or was it?
The
30
circular
degree down.
one, 30 degrees down, big tunnel, and then it goes circular 2 feet in diameter. That flattens out for 20 feet, and then it drops again.
Does it look burrowed?
It looks like it's been tooled with something.
Talk
I was
to
gonna
me
say
about the
How
geography
hoofed
of
creatures.
of where we have been. So we came from the Fissures on Scure Street.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Right?
Roll an intelligence check.
But I'm smart. I'm
This would be like huge brain if you can like figure
Work
this
out
out.
what we're
I'm just
underneath.
trying to work out where we've been. Conceal help me.
No, not an intelligence check. He's like, oh, is it?
So big old
It's so difficult for you guys to know because it's been a bit windy. You could be going deeper into the cliff. You could be going under the canal. You know, it's very hard to know.
Nothing
think
from
we
wandering
should
around in the desert's going to help me then.
We should go.
No, no.
I think
Can I get
we're
the
going
Oh no, it doesn't have a thing that points in which direction's north.
So you
Never mind.
bamf them back.
Yeah,
No, I'm making Zeal walk back.
Yeah,
I'll bring him up. Pick him up.
Is it
He
just in
crawls
the
out,
night?
yeah.
So you let the cat come back, and I've got to walk all the way back up the creepy tunnel.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta get
It's
some
dark.
exercise, bud. I don't know, like you just spent all
He's literally like, no, you can see.
you spent all day sat on my shoulder. I just thought it'd be nice for you to have a little walk.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying you've been eating a lot of treats and not doing much walking, bud.
He just sits there in strop.
I love you.
What are you guys
There's rubble.
doing? You got another hour and a half sort of rubble to move.
Yeah,
What a game.
Hey, when we get tired, we've got some beds. We've got some beds to lie in.
I'm really
That's
tempted to
where
go
I
and look
was
at the
hanging out
geology
on my
again.
man.
Just,
Me and Zeal just playing card games.
We're gonna move the rubble. We're gonna move the rubble.
Yeah.
Is everyone moving rubble?
Yeah.
Everyone's
Hour and a half pass.
yeah, I don't know how helpful I'm actually been. Like,
You're
I'm
like the guy
trying.
with
You're
the
picking up the
clipboard.
small pebbles.
Yeah.
He's the guy with the clipboard energy.
Yeah.
Eugene keeps getting picked up thinking he's a boulder.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
try
This one
casting
keeps coming back.
I keep trying to cast Unseen Servant, realising that it has a strength of 2, and then being like, ah, this won't help.
I am 5 times stronger.
Okay, so you guys clear the rubble after an hour and a half. It is at the opening as Zeal, as you saw through Zeal and Ansel. 5 feet tall opening that's been chipped in through the once lovely fossiled wall, and you can see the rubble came from where it had been carved in. The first kind of 10 feet of the tunnel, it just collapsed away and just smashed into the room and filled it with this rubble. So the tunnel is open.
So I have a theory about where this is going.
Voice it.
Voice it. I would suggest that at the very least this has all been carved out by Touch Lotus. And
Yeah.
because they've been using this, and then they using the old place had the lock on it. Which suggests to me that down here, down this hole, might well be some form of either hideout or headquarters or some kind of bullshit. That's my theory.
Yeah.
Just so we're prepared in case it is. If it's not, lovely surprise.
Also, potentially escape route.
It sounds like they were coming this way, though.
Yeah, you guys can see old tracks in here. Not the same back and forth movements that would have been the hooves have had in the room. But a single
Hoover.
a hoof, yeah. But one journey, a number of tracks coming up from within the tunnel out into here. You also, and I forgot to say this, towards the end of clearing the tunnel, you find an old, desiccated, crushed body of one of these creatures.
Does it? Can we identify what crushed it?
Or how
The
long?
rubble.
Oh right, okay. Sorry,
How
I wasn't
long
sure.
has it been dead?
Yeah, how long's it been down here?
A few weeks, at the very least, yeah.
It's not that long, really.
No.
But it's a lot longer than I thought they would have been here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Did Jeff say when they abandoned the old hideout?
We didn't know that they'd abandoned it. I don't think he wasn't sure if they were still using it because they were taken over. That's why, we weren't sure if anyone was going to be in that hideout. But they obviously used that then as a front to get to other hideout. Would be my guess.
Did
Feels
you
logical.
tell us about your vision with the rats?
Oh shit.
I can't remember if I did. Can you remember if I did?
I vaguely remember you speaking to Amaya about it because she was seized as well, and you said, "Did you see the vision?" I think you asked
Yeah.
her, "Did you?"
Yeah. And I said no.
So
Did you
tunnel
say
collapsed.
something about...
So there was a collapse in that. That's how the rat got the cracked
And wasn't there something about a giant doorway?
doorway. Yeah.
Door day.
Roasted.
How big is the door there?
How big was the door day?
Is anything reminiscent of what the rat showed
That's a
you?
very good point.
Is there anything reminiscent the rat showed me?
What do your notes say?
I don't
You're
know.
a twat.
So what the rat said was, it said quite a few things, but in terms of what you're asking, I can just tell you what it said.
I've just got a shattered archway of stone.
Of
Yes,
stone. Ah.
it said.
Because they were hunting for stuff.
Yeah, it said it was once one of a vast hoard created by a man, that they referred to as the Maker. Plucked us from the sewers under the gutters and filth-ridden forget-me-holes and sent us forth to seek out secrets, things he required to heal a sickness. And they sought shining things of silver, old things, mineralised relics of bone, but they were not what he sought. Then he found, no, that's right, in the door in the fossil place that should not be, a door that goes into a horror of stone and bone and fear and pain. He drove us through, and in these
I want to go through here.
I don't want to go through here anymore.
the doorway you saw was not this.
Okay.
You saw flashes of images, and what the doorway was. So they brought something through, something small and insignificant. Bringing it through, the door broke, shearing of spell and stone, and that was what fell on this one and cracked its skull. A spring loose, a sigil out of line, and I awoke better and stronger, and found others to do my bidding for. So the archery you saw was a massive thing of carved stone and runes and things, and that broke when they were doing something, and that's what crushed the rat and fucked its mechanical head up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a different entrance.
But the story sounds the same.
It's very similar.
Oh yeah.
And it sounds like it's got similar geology to it, which is, I'm guessing this is part of the old city. And
I didn't take you for a geologist, Dora.
I spent my life surrounded by rocks and sand.
Oh,
Nothing better to do.
And shiny.
They're only bored people to geology.
Well, I disagree with that entirely.
Where are we going?
Who's going in the tunnel?
I'll go.
I'll
Okay.
go.
Yeah, well,
What's the
let's face it,
master?
we're going in the tunnel of Maya.
All right,
Oh,
okay.
best buds.
March in order then, guys. Who's first?
I don't mind leading.
I will.
I was going to rock, paper, scissors, because she
Yeah.
went last time. 1, 2, 3, I'll go first.
Sentinel first.
Wait, no, I thought that. Oh, I thought it was whoever lost went first.
Oh, right.
Oh, I thought it was whoever won.
Then you had the
We
opinion,
both wanted
and
to
that
go
made-
first.
That's true.
Whoever won chooses.
I'll go first.
I'll go first.
You go.
Oh, you went first last time. I'll go first this time. It's fine.
No, honestly, you go. Oh, no, you go.
Oh,
I'm
God.
just holding that. I'm well rested. I'll go.
Cool. I'm right
I'll light
behind
up.
Sentinel.
I'll light up
Oh,
a
good
bit of
idea.
rubble or something.
Stone, fabled stone. So
Yeah,
you,
don't trip. Just
I
pass
have
light.
given you a little ball that I made.
Yeah, I
that
don't want to
glows.
break it.
Fair enough.
Aww.
Aw.
so it's Sentinel,
I
Amaya,
don't think we
Aura,
probably need two, don't we?
who's middle and the rear.
I'm definitely going at the back.
Eugene's the last.
Eugene's up the
we've got
rear.
I'll go in the middle.
Moxie and
I'll go
Freya.
next, yeah.
Cool,
and
so
then
Freya's just in front of Eugene.
Also, I'm stealthier, so if I need to jump ahead.
It's true.
Yeah.
So you guys are just wandering down the tunnel. And you go down 30 feet, actually, sorry, 30 degrees. So actually quite, when you're on it, it's quite steep. So you kind of,
You didn't tell us about this.
you are a lot heavier than him, and I guess you feel that because 30 degrees is about that, and in a tunnel that's only 5 foot high,
Yeah, that's
3
a
feet
decent incline.
it's a little bit
Some of
disconcerting.
us are stupid.
You make your way down 100 feet. 100 feet long you go, and then it flattens out. You reach this front sentinel, and it is a 2 feet wide hole of a tunnel.
That's so
It is small. That is what's 2 feet's about that. So for a podcast,
Very
holding up my
claustrophobic.
arms.
We're not going past each other.
Thank you.
No, it is absolutely single
That took
file.
a second.
It's still single file in here, but you can kind of see around each other. But in here, it's going to be like
So we're going
Cave.
downhill.
now it flattens out.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
It
now it's
flattens for 20 feet. It goes,
Okay,
and then
right.
you can't see further.
To
It
rapid
drops off.
flash.
It dropped.
Are there any like loose rocks around?
Yeah.
Are there
still
any,
got the
are there any
chalk.
loose rocks
No.
around us?
It's pretty clean. There are some pebbles if you were looking for something.
I'm just going to take another pebble and shout to Sentinel, throw the rock down and I'll cut and see what we can see.
Do you want me to throw it down, or my other thought is mage hand to go down gently? That's
Yeah?
yeah.
So you trade light onto that one.
No,
Or-
if Sentinel sends the one with light
Mm-hmm.
down, I've just got another one so that when we've found out what's there,
Sure.
I can just cast light on that and just pass it forward.
Very
and
nice.
Have another light.
The hand floats along, glowing this orb, and it lights like a lit ring. It moves down this tunnel for 20 feet, and then you get it drops, and you can't really sense where it goes, but you kind of just mind it down. It grinds a little bit on the top, then on the bottom, and you guys can just see the light fading slightly as it descends at an angle. And
There's no ladder. There's no
you hear a-
footholds.
of water, and the light takes on that ripple as it reflects on the top of the tunnel that you can see, where the lit stone is now underwater.
Can I? This is such bullshit. How far away is that from me now? Actually, because I can only hold it for like
Just over
30
20 feet. Just about 25 feet.
Can I like pull it back a little bit? Oh no, I suppose I wouldn't be able to feel it. Never mind.
Yeah, it's really difficult. You could you can pull it back and like watch as it and hear, but you can't see it.
What I wanted to do was basically just do this and see if that we could water walk. If there's enough room for us to water walk.
Oh right, I see.
Basically, just smack the hand.
Hard to say. You make it splash.
I can't do that.
You can hit a splash.
Is the tunnel wider where the turns into water?
It's hard to say. You can't,
Can't
see. it.
see.
Hey, whoever's up front.
That's me. Hi, babes.
You going?
Is that water?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's water.
You end up.
Yeah.
So Sentinel
I'll
starts
light
crawling.
up the other rock, pass it to Maya to pass it on, so you've got light
So you
at
grab the
front.
rock.
I'll still have the rock because I'll just bring it.
Oh yeah.
Oh
cool.
yeah.
So you
In
grab
that
the
case,
rock.
so I will not light my rock up.
You can light your rock up so you,
You get
can
your
have
rocks
light
off,
up
man.
there.
Get your rocks.
I will get out Eugene's sugarwork light, so that we've got light back here as well.
What colour's the light?
It's like a lava lamp.
That's cool.
Amazing.
No, it's a really cool, a much warmer glow around you, less harsh than the light spell on the boulder or pebble. So you Sentinel take that the stone with the light kind of in your fist, so that the light's kind of glaring out between your fingers as you literally crawling arms and knees and you see before you on the floor old tracks, dried mud from the hooves of these creatures that would have come this way as well. And you move along, and eventually you go 20 feet, and you get to where it drops about 45 degrees down, and only about 2 feet.
No, we get back up this if we...
It's like it only goes for a matter of like 2 feet, and then it's water.
Do we know what time the tide goes out?
It is literally it is literally like an oblong of water where it's gone down, and then there's water, and the tunnel you can sort of see. You dip the stone down a bit. You can see it extends as a tunnel of water.
I can't get back out now, can I?
Yeah, you could. So it's 2D wide, but you have to go backwards. Yeah. Or you could go into the pool and kind of like turn around.
Do we know what time the tide goes out, and if this is low tide or high tide?
Well,
didn't think of that one, did you?
I can answer, but it's Sentinel down there.
Is it salt water?
Is it salt water?
It's brackish.
Lick it.
What does brackish mean?
Partly salted.
So we're in an estuary. We're in the mouth of the river.
How
I don't have
how
water bottle, by the
long
way.
can I swim underwater?
So people who have, you're half, all of you know, no one has a swim speed, so it's half your movement is your swim, and you can hold your breath for 1 minute plus your constitution modifier. So if you have a modifier of 0, you can hold your breath for 1 minute.
I can hold my breath for 4 minutes.
Yeah, same.
Oh no.
But let me put it.
I got 5 minutes.
Oh, damn.
So you can swim effectively half speed and go as far as you can in the amount of time where you can hold your breath.
Do we want to take a rope for a guide rope for the others coming through after? I don't know how wide it is down there. Do we have a rope?
We will have a rope. Everyone has a rope.
I don't anymore.
I still have
Mine's in a tree at
So I reckon whoever can hold their breath the longest should go through first with the rope. If it's safe, tug on the rope.
I mean, I'm also already down here, so there's a lot of wiggling. But I also
we can all tread water, right?
But it's not enough space for us all down here.
We're just going to do the worm across.
It's a 2 foot wide tunnel of water.
How many feet does each person take up?
You guys will be single file, and you're going to not be able to. I mean,
Does they all
half
need
speed
to
is
breathe?
probably not even half speed, but we'll say it is because you can kind of just about doggy paddle or like narrowly kind of.
Genuinely
Crawl
feel
along.
claustrophobic right
Yeah.
This is awful. We were gonna die just in a mountain.
I know this stuff is horrible.
If I drown in a cave.
I have a backup to get me.
Character.
Yeah, true. I have a backup way if I can see somewhere to get out. I've got a +1 constitution, that's 2 minutes. So I can swim for 2 minutes, and then I have a solution to get me within 2 rounds. I can get over 90 feet. I can get 90 feet twice.
One thing I will say is if you're wearing heavy armor, your swim speed is halved again.
Get naked!
I don't actually know if it's heavy armor. I'm just going to check.
Because you take a disadvantage.
Oh yeah, it is.
Get naked.
I mean, I'm happy to swim through and take the rope with me.
You've got a 5 con, have you? Who's got the highest? You or
Me.
Eugene, probably. Have you? All right.
Yeah,
But
Nick's
he's got heavy armor on.
So it's gonna be super
Yeah,
slow.
take it off. Otherwise, he'll take.
But I mean, I'll still be able to do 30 feet because
You can effectively crawl, but it would take you you're going to be going 7 feet every 6 seconds as opposed to 15.
no, because action dash.
Yeah, so you'll be okay. So everyone can go. Yeah.
So you get basically a regular person can go 30 feet at a time.
then that's a good point.
That's a very good
You're
point.
realistically not going to be able to go 30 feet in this tunnel in 6 seconds. So because of the narrowness of it, your swim speed is effectively halved, I'm going to say. Because it's, picture a 2 foot wide tunnel.
Oh, we are.
You can't, you're not going to be like, whoa! You're going to be
we
like,
absolutely don't worry about that, Charlie.
down it. So it's,
How long is
You don't
before
know.
it drops off again?
you don't know. You guys are So Sentinel, is it just you there at the moment still?
And if Zeal came down just sitting on the edge.
Yeah.
Who's next to me I'm at the back. Who's next?
Freya.
Then
So, should we go to the pub?
let's go home.
Amaya, do you want someone? Do you want me to just risk it and come back?
No, I think either
We don't
me
know
or
how far
Aura
this
need to
goes.
go
They're fine.
first, and
If
also
you
I
were
think we need to,
pulling with that speed.
With a rope?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're like
Pulling
pulling
on.
people along.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
if you put a
beautiful.
rope down, you'd be able to go quicker probably. But
yeah, because either me or Aura can go first and put
Yeah.
the rope down. We can tug on it to let you know, but also I think once either of us get halfway, like the
Yeah.
first person, if it doesn't look like we can see much further and we don't know, then we've got to turn around and come back.
you
How
can't
long
turn
is
around
our-
and do the tunnel.
How long
We
is
can
our rope?
reverse.
Yeah, you'd have to swim backwards.
It's fine.
How
Well, you
long's
could
our rope?
always. How about this then?
That actually made me feel a little bit queasy when I said that.
How about this then? I have space in my book, so whoever's going down, I can write your name
Yeah.
in, and then I can just cast sending and just keep casting sending,
Yeah.
and then if you're like, I need to come back, we can pull you because
Yeah.
we have
Yeah,
the
that's
access to the
it.
boat.
That's it.
It's going to
Just
ping
tug 3
messages as
times on the
well.
rope. Or just tug a couple times on the rope and then
I will say as well as
2 for good, 3 for pull me back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
but that's
you-
always a risk.
if you put
Sending
a,
is
2 or
easier.
3.
Yeah.
if you
We've
guys
always
put
got a
rope
message.
through,
Yeah.
the first person who pulls the rope through will have to swim at that effectively quarter speed. So when you're dashing, you're moving at 15 feet
Yeah.
per round. Then when the rope's down, everyone else, you can take normal swim speed. If you're like effectively like pulling yourself along
Yeah.
hand over hand, you'd be able to move
Okay.
faster with that.
Well,
Because it's only 50 feet, so we've got someone else on the other end to like tie.
That's a very good point. You don't know how long the tunnel is.
yeah.
Because we've got.
Do we have
multiple
any other?
I have one.
I got more rope.
Oh, okay.
I've
So
got
we'll
rope.
probably do about 150
Maybe we should
feet.
Yeah.
tie
You have 3 ropes
together.
I'll
Just,
see
So
if
you
I
have
got some.
150 feet of rope.
Yeah.
let's tie them together just in case this goes a long way.
I'll see if I've got some.
Right. Or do you,
Why have you done this? This is your
I've
idea.
got 50 foot rope.
Alright, we've got 200 feet of rope.
I've got rope.
What's
Do
the
you
plan,
want-
guys?
should I go first because I can
You're
hold
quicker.
my breath for 4 minutes. I don't have heavy armor and I'm already
You
just
can do it for
behind.
6, can't you? Because it's 0 is 1 and you've got +5.
I've got +3.
No, ignore me. Someone else has 4
Yeah.
minutes.
I don't mind stripping off.
But what I'm saying is that I'm literally right behind Sentinel right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There's no way I can get through the tunnel, so it'd probably be you.
You
Yeah.
can if you guys come back out into the 3 foot wide, 5 foot tall bit, you can. But
think-
only you're in the narrow bit, right? You guys are all still in the other bit, looking down the 2
Yeah,
foot
so
diameter
I
bit.
need to come all the way out. We
Yeah.
need to swap, and then you
Yeah.
need to go in.
Yeah.
Do you want to do sending? Because I can do that
Yeah.
unlimited. Cool. Because then at least we know for sure what's happening.
Yeah, because then if you're unsure on how many rope tugs it was.
Yeah.
If I did, I mean, just theoretically, if I did gust of wind down the tunnel, that's give someone rapid.
Well, like Amaya's farting.
So I mean, it probably would push a lot of the water in that direction. Yeah, like a.
That's the best use of that.
Water slide.
Yeah, but then you don't know what's on the other side, so,
So
there
it
might
could be
just
death, it
be
could be
ejected off a
certain
cliff or
death.
something.
Or it could just be a brick wall.
If this is a dead end,
It's just one of those really depressing stories on YouTube where someone just goes and it's like a pencil tunnel that just goes into a pool.
Right, okay, can we... Okay. Amaya right
Well, there's like one of those gates, so you just can't get through.
Amaya, in you go, yeet.
Can I reach forward and give Amaya guidance
Okay.
before she gets...
Maybe bless
nice
them might be
knowing you.
saving throws.
What are you doing with the rope?
Keep cooking, Eugene.
I'm gonna throw her a bless, actually.
Just because it's only one check, whereas bless if there are saving
I think
throws
guidance
involved.
lasts like
If,
around.
Can I do
It's a
one?
minute.
Oh, okay.
It is a minute. I
Concentration.
learned this recently.
That's long.
If Amaya
But it's
gets in
only
trouble, who's going in?
We'll pull up.
Yeah, what are you
Yeah.
doing with the rope? So Amaya, you're at the front, you're cycling yourself up, they're giving your
Doing like
Amaya, Freya casts bless on you, a couple of
Yeah.
hand signals, touches your back. What's happening with the rope?
I'm going to tie it to my wrist.
Okay.
And we tied the rope together so it's 200.
So you got 200 feet of rope.
200 feet of rope.
End of it is on your your forearm, wrist, nicely tied.
Yeah, just so that I'm not like having to hold on to it because I don't want to let go of
Yeah.
it.
Should we do your ankle then? Because then we can pull you out.
That might be easier.
Yeah, probably ankle then.
Because otherwise it's going to be like...
You get trapped, like literally stuck in the cushion.
Why would you say that?
Right, worst comes to the worst, I can swim out to you and then we can do thunder step because I can take someone else with me and we can move 90 feet. You're gonna be fine.
It's fine, we've got this. Right, I'm going.
I'll
I'm
just
going
need
in.
another little nap.
It's tied to my left ankle.
You're keeping your jacket on and everything, just going
Yeah,
for it.
because
fully
it's not
clothed.
going to impede anything.
Okay, so you tie
You don't-
around
you're
your
right getting it
ankle.
wet.
Oh, it's got blood in there. It's fine.
Sweet.
Around your ankle, your calf, really well tied on.
Ankle, not calf.
You're like, okay. You swap places with Sentinel.
I'm making it's better in my head if I play the Super Mario music from the Water Worlds.
Do you have any light? Are you going to go on dark vision?
I can give it...
Oh, have you got the
Like a
rock?
pebble.
I've got, yeah.
In your fist like Sentinel, the light peeking through your fingers. You crawl on your chest and your elbows down this 2 foot wide tunnel, and you get to the 45-degree angle down, and it flattens out and it goes straight ahead. You can see it now, and you go in
You're doing
face
amazing,
first.
sweetie.
There's not enough room for you to turn, so you slide in. You take a big breath. You go down. It's immediately it's freezing cold, this, and you look down the tunnel. You can see is it 40 feet with the light, and you start crawling and swimming at the same time, and a combination of kicking and just moving and grabbing like the walls, and you're moving along, and it goes for a while. It seems to be like going on forever. You go about 50 feet and you keep going, and you go another 50 feet and you're still going, and that is where we're going to end today's Thanks for joining us. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram and listen to us wherever you get your podcasts.